12 News at 10 with Mark Curtis and Caribe Divine starts now.
First at 10, an update to the wildfire emergency in Los Angeles County, California. The death toll from the fires has climbed to 11, and that number is expected to go up. The fires have burned more than 12,000 structures, including homes, schools, and businesses. The largest fire is the Palisades fire. That has scorched over 20,000 acres and is 8% contained, while the Eaton fire burning in Altadena is just 3% contained. Tonight, 150,000 people remain under evacuation orders, and the danger is far from over as officials warn the powerful Santa Ana winds are expected to pick back up this weekend. This is a live look right now at the Palisades fire, as you can see there, and it looks like it is still raging on in that area. Just some impressive shots right there that you can see over the mountain. That fire is just ablaze. Now, authorities just issued new evacuation orders as that fire continues to rage on tonight. Good evening, everyone. I'm Caribe Divine. 12 News journalist Troy Hayden spent the day in Altadena, where entire communities have been reduced to piles of ash and rubble.
It is a smoky and eerie sunset in Altadena, California. And when the sun goes down, sometimes the looting fears go up. And that's why we saw a big increase in security earlier today. So this is something new today. That's a National Guard member there. This is his large vehicle. A curfew is now in effect, sundown to sunup. So they are out here at all the checkpoints, making sure that nobody who shouldn't be in here gets inside the evacuated zones. Once inside the evacuation zone, we saw strange things like confused-looking peacocks wandering the streets. We found this. The top of this power pole appears to be kind of dangling in midair. The midsection is separated from it because of this fire. And then the bottom section, we don't want to get too close, but look, still on fire 3 days after the main flames came through this part of Altadena. This is just incredible. I mean, look at this turnout here. We've talked about so much darkness over the past couple of days, and now some light. All these people have come together to help out those who've either lost their homes or have been evacuated. And look what they brought. They brought shoes. They've got different clothes that are all categorized, men, women's, children's. You can see they've got dresses, skirts, women's pants, men's jackets. Over here, there's a big pile of bedding with blankets and sheets and things like that. Exactly what people need during this time. And the people who've been evacuated and who have lost their homes, they are very happy to see this.
We don't have our neighbors anymore that support us. That's it. We're on our own.
That was really nice to see today. So now the big question going forward, the weather. The winds have been calm the last couple of days. Firefighters have made progress on both of these major fires burning right now. The question is, what's going to happen going forward? Reporting from Altadena, California, Troy Hayden, 12 News.
All right, Troy, thank you. We're going to stay on that weather theme with meteorologist Crystal Long. And Crystal, the return of these Santa Ana winds is probably the last thing that fire officials want to hear right now.
Yeah, they're getting charged right back up again tomorrow evening through Sunday afternoon. And with that comes a brand new set of weather alerts in that area, slapped one on top of the other. There's so many. We have this ongoing harmful air quality issue, of course, with all of the smoke and the bad breathing. But then we have more high wind watches out, fire weather watches out that will get upgraded to red flag warnings once we get to tomorrow. We have bone dry conditions out there linking up with these ludicrous winds that are going to be popping 60 miles an hour plus. And you know what? We have to be walking on eggshells too, because not only are fires in progress in California, but also right here in our Grand Canyon state. And we also are getting tagged with a wind alert. A wind advisory is out this weekend across northwestern Arizona. Winds diving down from the north, speeding up between 40 and 50 miles an hour in this zone. But I wanted to show you statewide how we're going to see a flare up of those winds tomorrow. Plus, keep in mind, dry air on deck. We're going to crank it up into the 20s, 30s, and even some 40s as you see there. But definitely the more wind prone spot is going to be out west.
All right, Crystal, thank you for that. Tonight, crews are making progress battling the Horton fire northeast of Payson. The fire is now 75% contained. So far, the flames have burned over 8,000 acres of land. More than 400 firefighters are working to fully contain the blaze. Now to just a horrible story. New at 10, a 12-year-old girl reported missing here in Phoenix is found hundreds of miles away in Utah. Authorities say that a truck driver kidnapped and sexually abused her. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly is joining us in studio tonight. And Chase, that man is now facing some serious charges.
Caribe, 10 years to life in prison if found guilty. Records I obtained claim the suspect started talking with the young victim online before he eventually took her.
The 12-year-old victim is being referred to as Jane Doe in this 9-page arrest report for Liam Wallace of Phoenix. The 27-year-old truck driver is facing federal charges of child sex trafficking. A few days after Christmas, the victim's mother reported her daughter missing to law enforcement in Phoenix, believing it was Wallace who had her. Saying her daughter had run away before and it was Wallace who had brought her back, he reportedly introduced himself as the father of Jane Doe's 13-year-old boyfriend, which investigators say was a lie. The victim's mom provided Maricopa County Sheriff's deputies with Wallace's phone number, tracking him to Flagstaff and learning through Wallace's employer that he was heading towards Salt Lake City, Utah. He had just crossed into Utah when sheriff's deputies there found his semi-truck and spoke with Wallace, who at first claimed he was alone, then later said he was with his lady, who was 19 years old. Investigators determined that was also a lie, finding the 12-year-old victim inside the truck and arresting Wallace. When interviewing the young victim, she claimed Wallace did sexually abuse her multiple times in Arizona and Nevada. The records claim Wallace denied the allegations, but reportedly admitted to meeting the 12-year-old 5 to 7 times in person, taking her on trips to California and Nevada. This all started a few months ago, after the 27-year-old and 12-year-old began talking in an online teen chat room.
Contact with online predators happens mostly in chat rooms and on social media.
Elena Lowry, the regional director for Common Sense Media, says to avoid these situations, parents need to have safeguards in place, like privatizing accounts and checking into what their kids are looking up online. Lowry says parents need to have a real conversation with their children about not sharing their information or talking with strangers online.
It's making sure that their kids have the right set of skills and tools to avoid the situations altogether.
Wallace is currently in custody and is set for a status hearing next week in Flagstaff. Live in the studio, Chase Golightly, 12 News.
All right, Chase, thank you. 3 people accused in the murder of Paul Clifford have been indicted in Pima County. The Pima County Attorney's Office confirms that Jack Upchurch, Elmer Smith, and Wendy Scott were indicted on multiple felony charges, including first-degree murder. Clifford went missing after he stopped to help some strangers who appeared to be having some car trouble on Christmas Eve. He was later found next to a burning car in a remote area in Pima County. The suspects will be arraigned next Friday. Tonight, the investigation continues into how Glendale police shot and killed an unarmed bystander in a park. This happened on Wednesday evening at Horizon Park near 47th Avenue and Olive. Authorities say that they tracked a man wanted in a domestic violence incident to that park. When officers approached his truck, they say their attention was drawn to a person sitting at a gazebo. Police say that they shot the man when he didn't comply with their commands and moved his hands towards his waistband. But it was the wrong guy. The man wanted in the original domestic violence incident was later found dead in the truck from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Today, a Glendale community leader spoke out about the shooting.
To hear that an innocent bystander was just shot and killed for simply hanging around at a park, it makes me feel unsafe. This is something preventable that should have never happened, something that we really need to look at and make sure that the officers involved are held accountable.
Authorities identified the man who police shot as 46-year-old Dylan Seebeck. Meanwhile, State Senator-elect Anise Ortiz released a statement calling for full transparency in the investigation and the release of body cam footage. Tonight, investigators are still trying to figure out what sparked a fire that burned 2 homes and left a woman dead. It happened this morning in Phoenix near 83rd Avenue and Thomas. You're looking at video from a neighbor who said that he came home around 2 a.m. and found the homes on fire. He tried to save the woman but could not. After taking a break for the holiday travel season, weekend road work is now back on. There are two big closures, though, that you need to know about. First, I-10 is closed eastbound from the mini stack all the way down to the US 60. Meanwhile, State Route 143 is closed between northbound between the I-10 and the Loop 202. Now, both of these closures will impact traffic headed to Sky Harbor Airport, so you're going to want to allow for some extra time if you need to catch a flight. These closures started at 10 p.m. tonight, and they will last until Monday morning.